Okay, so here's something to think about. Hiring doesn't really happen in big dramatic waves like the headlines suggest. It's not everything's booming or everything's crashing. Instead, it's all about these subtle signals, small shifts that tell us what's really going on.
That's such a good point. Headlines love to simplify things, but the reality is way more nuanced. Employers and job seekers are making decisions based on these little patterns that don't always make the news. And honestly, those patterns are where the real story is.
Exactly. Hiring is like this constant conversation between employers and candidates, and the signals they send each other can tell us so much. Things like how fast decisions are being made, what candidates are asking about, or even how job descriptions are written. It all adds up to paint a bigger picture.
And that's what we're diving into today. We're breaking down the hiring signals we're seeing right now across the industries we specialize in. Each one has its own rhythm, but there are definitely some patterns emerging.
And those patterns matter, whether you're hiring, managing a team, or looking for your next opportunity. Understanding these signals can help you adapt faster and make smarter decisions. So, let's get into it. What's the first signal we're seeing? Signal number 1. Applicant flow is shifting, but not evenly. This is a big one. In some entry-level roles, like in light industrial and warehouse jobs, we're seeing more applications per posting compared to when the labor market was at its tightest. That's definitely a shift.
It is, but here's where it gets interesting. More applications don't automatically mean that hiring gets easier. There's this assumption that if you have a bigger stack of resumes, you'll fill the role faster. But that's not always true. Volume and alignment are two very different things.
Exactly. Take warehouse roles, for example. You might see a surge in applications, but when you dig deeper, you start noticing gaps. Maybe the shift timing doesn't work for most applicants. Maybe the job site is too far away for people to commute. Or maybe the job posting wasn't clear about overtime expectations. So, the real signal here isn't just more applicants. It's that employers need to focus on stronger screening and clearer communication to actually turn that volume into hires.
That's right. It's not just about how many people apply, it's about how many of them are the right fit. And that brings us to our next signal.
Signal number 2. Decision speed is a competitive advantage again. This one is huge. We're seeing that employers who move quickly, who schedule interviews promptly, and communicate next steps clearly are filling roles faster.
And the ones who hesitate, they're losing out, especially in industries like skilled trades and transportation, where candidates often have multiple job offers on the table. If one employer is decisive and another is slow to respond, guess who wins?
Exactly. Think about experienced welders, technicians, maintenance professionals, or CDL drivers. These are people who are in high demand. If an employer takes several days to get back to them, they've probably already moved on to another opportunity. So even if the overall applicant flow is improving, speed still matters. It's a huge differentiator.
And it's not just about filling roles faster. It's about sending a message to candidates that your company is organized, decisive, and values their time. That's a powerful signal.
Signal number 3. Specialized roles remain competitive. This is an interesting one. While we're seeing more activity in entry-level roles, specialized positions like skilled trades and engineering are still highly competitive.
Very true. Employers aren't exactly drowning in applications for roles like skilled welders, electricians, or experienced technicians. And in engineering support or advanced manufacturing positions, the competition for talent with strong technical skills is still intense.
The takeaway here is that while entry-level roles might feel more active, specialized roles require a different approach. Employers need to set realistic timelines and focus on thoughtful engagement to attract and retain top talent in these areas.
Signal number 4, transparency around pay and schedule is non-negotiable. This one feels like a big shift. Candidates are asking about pay earlier in the process, and they're not doing it aggressively. They're just being direct.
Absolutely. And it's not just about base pay. They want to know about overtime expectations, shift differentials, commute times, and schedule stability. When employers aren't upfront about these details, it creates hesitation, and hesitation slows down the hiring process.
On the flip side, employers who are transparent about compensation and schedules often see faster decision-making and less back and forth. It's such a simple adjustment, but it makes a huge difference.
Signal number 5. Reliability is being prioritized over perfect experience. This one is fascinating. Across industries, we're seeing employers focus more on reliability and trainability than on finding the perfect resume.
That's especially true in light industrial and warehouse environments. Supervisors want team members who will show up consistently and communicate effectively. It's less about having every single skill and more about being dependable.
And it's not just limited to those industries. In manufacturing and construction, reliability impacts safety and productivity. In transportation, it affects deliveries. And in office roles, it impacts deadlines. Employers are valuing consistency more than ever, and that's a big shift.
Signal number 6, retention conversations are happening earlier. This is a trend I find really encouraging. Employers are starting to think about how to keep hires longer, not just how to fill roles quickly.
That's right, and that's changing how interviews are structured. We're seeing more discussions about growth paths, cross-training opportunities, and stability during the hiring process itself. It's a signal that companies are focusing on long-term workforce health, not just short-term staffing needs.
Signal number 7, candidates are evaluating fit more carefully. This is another positive trend. Candidates are asking more detailed questions about things like pace, team structure, communication style, and advancement opportunities.
And that's especially true in industries like transportation and skilled trades. Drivers want clarity on routes and home time. Technicians want to understand the safety culture and training support. Even office and clerical candidates are asking about workload expectations and communication norms. It's all about alignment, and better alignment leads to better retention.
Signal number 8, communication quality is a deciding factor. This one can't be overstated. Candidates are paying close attention to how employers communicate during the hiring process.
Absolutely. Did the interview start on time? Were the instructions clear? Was follow-up timely? These might seem like small details, but they have a big impact on acceptance rates. Communication is becoming a brand signal. It tells candidates how organized and responsive a company might be once they're hired.
So, what's the bottom line here? What can employers do to adapt to these signals?
First, tighten response times. Second, be transparent about pay and schedules from the start. Third, streamline your interview stages. Fourth, confirm next steps clearly. Simple communication like, "You'll hear from us by Wednesday," builds trust. And fifth, make sure your job descriptions match reality. Misalignment causes early turnover.
And for candidates, the signals are clear too. Communicate clearly, demonstrate reliability, and ask thoughtful questions to evaluate fit. It's all about alignment and responsiveness on both sides.
Exactly. Hiring isn't about dramatic changes. It's about paying attention to the signals and adapting accordingly. Employers who do that are building stronger, more stable teams. And candidates who do that are finding roles that truly fit.
So, whether you're hiring, managing a team, or looking for your next opportunity, remember, the signals are there. You just have to pay attention.
And that's a wrap for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the hiring signals we're seeing right now. Until next time, stay responsive, stay informed, and keep building strong teams.